Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Senior Cat Wellness. Today's topic is a common one and often asked question and point of conversation. The great outdoors, grass, why cats consume it, and is it safe? Let's talk about it right now. If you are a cat owner or just a lover of felines, you've probably seen this rather interesting and strange behavior. Your cat walks outside, walks around, sniffs around, and then starts checking out that grass and perhaps consuming the grass. If you're anything like, I would say, the majority of pet parents, especially new pet parents, your first thought is my cat really eating grass? Is that safe? Should I stop this? Should I be worried in a couple of hours as to what could happen after I've witnessed this? Well, today we're going to try to break it all down and tell a little bit of the truth about cats eating grass, why they do it, and what it really means, and I guess in the big picture, most importantly, whether it's dangerous, of course, whether it's dangerous or not. So let's talk about that right here and right now. So let's start off with the obvious. Why do cats actually eat grass? Why do they have the desire to eat grass? Uh, let's clear it up. Cats are obligate carnivores, right? So consuming grass sort of flies in the face of everything that is common knowledge. Their physical bodies are built for meat, to eat meat, certainly not plants and not grass from your backyard, right? So when you see your cat chewing on grass, it can raise some very obvious questions, but here's the rather unique and interesting part. Eating grass, consuming grass, the desire to eat grass, it's actually quite common in the feline world, and some consider it natural behavior. And there are a few reasons, a plethora of reasons, let's say, why cats might be interested in eating grass. And one of the reasons is it helps with digestion, believe it or not. One of the most common explanations is that it helps a cat to clear out their digestive system. If you've ever noticed that sometimes after eating grass, your cat, well, brings it back up, if you will, well, that's sort of by design. That's almost the intention with respect to the digestive issue or the digestive part of this equation. Grass can sort of irritate a cat's stomach and trigger that regurgitation, and that sort of sounds very unpleasant, but the cat sort of has a game plan involved. If they're not feeling too well, they could eat grass deliberately in order to bring things back up, such as maybe a hairball or fur ball, even something that could be even sort of stuck like small bones, or if they've been roaming around in the great outdoors, possible, let's just say, bits of prey that they've consumed. So think of this as a natural way for your cat to sort of do something to initiate them bringing everything back up that could be irritating their stomach. Another reason, it could be due to constipation, an effort to relieve constipation. Sometimes cats, even though they are meat eaters, they might need a little extra help with digestion, and fiber found in the grass can stimulate the gut and help sort of move things along a bit easier if the cat is feeling a bit constipated and sort of stopped up. If your pet tends to pass fur balls, unfortunately, on a somewhat routine basis, and perhaps has some litter box issues because of this, you might notice the cat when they're outside nibbling on some grass. It's a sort of way, their natural way to maintain positive stability and keep things moving in the right direction, if you will, and avoiding that constipation. Next up, and I think this is probably more the obvious one, just curiosity. We see cats all the time, and your cat might be doing it right now. Sort of maybe being curious about things and perhaps sort of trying to get into something they shouldn't be getting into. Uh, Something like grass in the yard, especially if it's a patch of grass that they haven't seen before or explored before. They could be curious about it, but also certain nutrients can be found in grass, such as folic acid, which is important for bodily function. It's also found in a cat's mother's milk. So when cats they chew and nibble on grass, they may be doing it out of curiosity, but it's actually quite helpful for their body in terms of nutrition. So that, I think, naturally leads us to the next reason. It actually feels good. Now, I don't recommend you going out in the yard and trying this, so we'll just take the word for it when it comes to this. It sort of plays back on that curiosity. Some people believe that cats eat grass simply because they like the taste and the texture. Here again, I'll leave it to the felines to decide that. I'm not going to go out in the backyard and start munching on some grass, but leave it to the cats to figure that out. The texture and even the taste. If your pet is eating grass here and there occasionally is not bringing it back up, let's say. It could be a little bit of a unique quirk in their body or even in their personality. I guess we can compare this to, I don't know, I'm trying to think off the top of my head what can be comparing it to. I don't know, I guess people who bite their fingernails, or I know there's shows on television now about people that have quirky behaviors that like to eat things that aren't really food. I think we've all sort of seen that. I guess this would be the feline equivalent, right? Eating grass just for the heck of it or because it feels good. Well, here's the big picture. Here again, this sort of piggybacks on eating things that aren't food. Is grass dangerous? I think that's why you're all here, right? If your cat's eating grass on the regular or even the semi-regular, is it dangerous? The answer, most of the time, it's not. For most healthy felines, eating grass occasionally is rather harmless and even normal, and based on what we know, beneficial in some cases. But obviously, when we're talking about things that sort of cats aren't designed to eat, right? It's not fresh, wet cat food, fresh, meaty, wet cat food. So there's some dangers that are obviously introduced here. The first, bit of an obvious one, right? Lawn chemicals, any sprays and pesticides that could be sprayed in, whether we're talking about your front yard, backyard, or even maybe wooded areas right off your property. Herbicides, fertilizers, anything you can think of, all of which are toxic. Even small amounts ingested with these chemicals can introduce vomiting, diarrhea, and potentially other more serious side effects. So, your cat does go outside, try to make sure that your personal lawn, the neighbor's lawns are free of harmful treatments and have, at the very least, not recently been treated over say, the last 24 to 48 hours. Or even better, if you know your cat does enjoy grass, set aside an area in the yard that is not treated. Even if other areas are treated with chemicals, just a small patch that they can be curious about and munch on, that is sort of the best solution if your cat does go outside on a regular basis. Let's talk about toxic plants. Sometimes it's not just grass that grows in the ground, right? It could be plant life. Unfortunately, many common garden plants, if you have a garden, they can be very toxic. I've mentioned before lilies and tulips and even azaleas. Some house plants can also cause a similar unfortunate concern if your cat were to ingest it. So always make sure what's in your house and what even you're growing outside in terms of plants, because it's not just grass that could potentially cause an issue. It could be plant life. Another concern is vomiting, an excessive amount of vomiting. While some cats will eat grass, as I mentioned, to sort of induce vomiting to clear up any stomach irritation, if your cat is doing this daily or several times a week, this something else is going on here. Excessive grass eating is not normal. Now, is it normal for cats to eat grass here and there? Yes, if given the opportunity. But if this is every time you let them outside, they go right for the grass and start eating it, this is a sign of some gastrointestinal issue or something is causing perhaps stress and anxiety. Something is drawing them to the grass where they almost feel the need to not only just check it out, but to eat it, consume it. They have a great desire to consume it. So if this is going on, I would say if this lasts even more than a week, week and a half, where it's almost perpetual, please contact your vet. Especially if they've just started this out of nowhere. If they had no interest in grass and now they've gone 10 straight days and can't seem to eat enough of it, something's going on here that needs to be checked out. What about indoor cats? I've talked about cats that go outside, but what's going on there? Do indoor cats, can they eat grass? Yeah, they can. Here again, I mentioned the plant life, and sometimes the fascination can begin with sort of gnawing on house plants. So if your cat is drawn to this, just like I mentioned, having a little section outside that's safe, you can do the same indoors for a little safe area. Oat grass, wheatgrass, anything that's safe that can be grown and left indoors for your cat to enjoy for whatever the reasons they are drawn. Um, it's sort of plays into what they want if that's what they desire. And it's certainly better to do this than risking sending them outside or letting them go outside and potentially consuming grass that's been coated with very harmful, potentially deadly chemicals. So overall, eating grass is a normal behavior for cats, and some cats do enjoy it to help their digestion, perhaps bring up unwanted things such as fur balls. Um, Most cases, it's not dangerous, but here again, those toxics, those chemicals that have been placed on the grass through lawn care and lawn maintenance, that's obviously a major red flag. And if all of this is excessive, more than just normal and natural, but perpetual, something's going on, contact your vet and get down to the bottom of it all, because it could be stress, but it also could be something going on health-wise that is sort of prompting your cat to be drawn to consuming grass. They're trying to soothe something within their body, in their stomach. So something could be going on here. So don't wait. I would say longer than a few days, no more than a week. With that said, to the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, the ball is now in your court. The grass is now the beautiful grassy field is now yours. What are your thoughts on this topic? Does your cat eat grass? Is it something, even though your cat is very healthy and happy, is it something they actually enjoy? Your thoughts? Anything you'd like to add? That comment section, as always, it's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like, share it out, and subscribe to us right here, Senior Cat Wellness. And until next time, we will talk to you later.